There's a lot of advice on how to prepare for and go to mediation in divorce successfully. But how good is the advice? Well, first, let's find out by reading this article that tells you about how to prepare for and succeed in mediation. Now, I didn't write this article, so there is some good advice in it, and there is some bad advice in it. And I'll explain why more in part 5 of this 5-part series. Another bad part, quote, successful family law mediation, closing the deal, close quote. Now, I struggled with whether to consider this bit of advice good or bad. On the good side, if you and your spouse can, in the time you schedule to hold your mediation, adequately identify, discuss, and resolve all of the issues in your case to your mutual satisfaction, and then reduce that agreement to a complete and clear written agreement, that's beautiful. It is not, however, terribly common. But on the bad side, far too often what happens is that the parties become so desperate to reach an agreement for the sake of reaching an agreement. Any agreement, anything to bring this horrible divorce case to a seeming close, anything to stop spending money on lawyers and mediators and Lord knows what else. It is so tempting to believe that any settlement agreement is better than no settlement agreement, but it's a lie. And when you're desperate and fearful, your judgment can be fatally clouded. It's similar to the feeling you have after you've negotiated with a used car salesman for hours and find yourself tempted to make a bad deal simply because you don't want to walk away feeling as though you wasted all that time with nothing to show for it. But just as you feel like a sucker the next day after you bought that overpriced heap, making a hasty settlement agreement doesn't feel any better. In fact, it feels a lot worse. A bad deal on a used car can be minor as an inconvenience for a few years. A bad deal in divorce can dog you for the rest of your life.